Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our top 5 favorite series, and in today's video we are looking at E3 Saxo Classic. This race is known for its punishing climbs, technical turns and unpredictable weather, as we know with the Flanders area in this time of year. E3 Saxo Classic is a true test of grit and strategy, and often serving as a precursor to the more famous cobbled classics that follow. Since its debut in 1958, the race has become a springtime fixture for the world's best riders on the cobbles, with the mix of short, steep ascents like the Patenberg and offering the perfect setting for explosive performances. And in recent years, we've seen dominant displays from riders such as Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert. And as we look towards the 2025 edition, all eyes will be on who can conquer the brutal Flemish parcours and emerge as this year's E3 Saxo Classic champion. So we have gathered 5 names that could be in contention for the win and could lift that trophy. But before we start, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and why not check out the Binyam Girmay interview we did earlier this year as well. And speaking of Binyam Girmay, that is the first rider of our list, who incidentally also was in the race last year, finishing 19th. Girmay is a very solid cobblestone rider with big results in E3 in the past and Gent-Wevelgem, as we know, winning that famous 2022 edition. And their train will hope to replicate the form he had in 2022, as the team are aiming for a top 5 in the Belgian classics. Binny is a fast sprinter, as we know, winning the green jersey in the Tour de France, and is able to hang on in the hillier cobbled terrain, so can potentially be able to ride under the radar and let some of the bigger teams dictate the pace and the chasing and be there if they can get it all back before the finishing line. So far in 2025, it's not been too much success for him, as he started in the Mallorca one-day races where he was able to get a couple of top 10 places before at the Vuelta al Garve coming very close to a win on stage 3, finishing 2nd, and on the following stage he also managed to finish 5th. Milan-San Remo was the first big test after his brief break. He managed to be up there in the second group and ultimately finish 14th, so the form is building and he could maybe be able to best his best ever finish at this race, which was in 2022, and could be the first ever Aert train to finish on the podium. 4th on the list is our obligatory Danish pick, and this time it is Mads Pedersen. Last year, Pedersen was doing a lot of work for his teammates and managed to finish 11th himself, using this race as preparation for bigger targets that paid dividends a few days later, where he managed to win Gent-Wevelgem. The Dane will be hoping that he can do something similar this year, but get a better result in E3 and maybe not work so much for his teammates and break into the top 5, which would, if it happened, be his best ever result at the race. So far this year, Pedersen has showed great form. Early on in the Tour La Provence, he managed to outsprint Matej Mohoric on the Queen stage and subsequently took the overall win. Then he went on to Paris-Nice, where he did very well in the climbs and even winning on stage 6, and in the process sealing the points classification as well. His first big target was Milan-San Remo, and here he was hoping to win his first monument, but ultimately he wasn't able to keep with the winning move and finished 7th from the second group on the road. His team Little Trek, as we know, are a very strong team with multiple riders finishing inside the top 10 last year, and one of which was Tom Skoyen, who could be a very strong card for them as well. But they will definitely want to rally around their Danish talisman and could potentially get him on the podium. Next on the list is Wout van Aert, who on form is a fantastic cobble rider, as we know, but the question is, what sort of form is he on, as he will not be aiming to peak for this race, but rather for Paris-Roubaix and the Tour of Flanders. He was not as strong as expected this year early on in Classic Royenne, where he switched from being a protector rider to working for the team very quickly. He did ferocious turns at the front that will have aided him, but there was no win, and that was a bit of a shame. And at that Vuelta al Garve, he didn't have much success for himself, but he did manage to finish 2nd on the final time trial behind his teammate of Jonas Vingegaard. In the Belgian opening weekend, he didn't have great success, as he only finished 11th in Omloop and disaster in Kuurne-Brussel-Kuurne, finishing 75th. So we will wait and see if he has actually improved and built his form while he was on the altitude camp. E3 is a race that he has fond memories of, as he has done very well, finishing on the podium in 4 out of the 5 editions he's been part part of, second in 2019, 11th in 2021, winning 2022, winning 2023, and finishing third last year, where he even took a tumble as well. He will be supported by a very strong Visma bike team as well, with the likes of Dylan van Baal, a former Paris-Roubaix winner, Matteo Jorgensen, a former Dwars Flandern winner, and even Christophe Laporte as well. So Visma bike are definitely going to be a team that can be very strong here. Before we get into the top two, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as that really helps. And if you have already subscribed, thank you for doing so. Other riders of note include the likes of Kasper Asgreen, who is a former winner of this race and has, as we've said before, changed the EF Education Easy Post, so potentially we can see some form here in the kind of races that he loves to race. Oliver Naesen as well has had good results in this race and will be looking to lead up the Catalan AG2R. And we can't not mention Michael Matthews. If he does continue his form from Milan-San Remo, could be up here as he builds towards Tour of Flanders. And equally, a man that we know is very good in the cobblestones when he is on form, but has been lacking a bit, and that is Onno Dilly, who disappointed a bit in the GP Denan, finishing 9th, but we know when he's on form, he is absolutely ferocious. But with that out of the way, second rider on the list is the world champion Tadej Pogacar, who will be looking to bounce back from his own disappointment of Milan-San Remo not winning there, and is shifting his focus to the cobblestone races. In 2025, he has looked invincible so far in the racing, despite not winning Milan-San Remo. In the UAE Tour, winning that in a comfortable fashion, and in Strade Bianche, winning the race impressively despite having that really big crash and having Tom Pidcock up the road. And as we said, at Milan-San Remo, being the animator of the race, attacking on the suppressor, but ultimately finishing third as he lost out to Ghana in the sprint. Tadej Pogacar is so strong, as we know, and versatile, and it could be very hard to predict if anything can phase him in this form. He will look to learn from how Mathieu van der Poel was able to be on his wheel in Milan-San Remo, so he could potentially do a very long-ranged attack and use his teammates to really make it hard for everyone else. As far as E3 goes, he only did the one edition in 2023, where he was able to follow the moves of more established names like Van der Poel and Bernhardt, but he is certainly very strong, and the team around him will definitely try and do something to Mathieu van der Poel, and he will be eager to use this race for the Tour of Flanders. Nevertheless, first on the list, and this is of course someone we've already mentioned many times in this video, and that is Mr. Saxo Classics himself, the Flying Dutchman and defending champion Mathieu van der Poel, who was imperious in the 2024 edition. Van der Poel is an absolute superstar when it comes to cobbles, and in 2025 he's already won a world title in cyclocross, as we know, and he has a 100% record on the road, as he won La Semaine in a sprint, and was that sprint potentially to test himself against other riders and practicing a sprint race scenario, who knows. But that definitely did help him in Milan-San Remo, where he played it very defensively when Tadej Pogacar was attacking, but pounced at the right moment to win the sprint and take his second ever title in Milan-San Remo. Van der Poel has all the ingredients to win the race once more. He can win it from a number of scenarios, from a sprint, in a small group, or even just right away like he did last year, which was very impressive. His record in the race is great and has a very funny stat with only 3 additions to his name: third in 2021, second in 2023, and last year he was able to win it, and he will be hoping to continue that impressive record of 2025 and be a back-to-back winner. If he does win the race, that will be the first time we see a back-to-back winner since 2011, where Fabian Cancellara defended his 2010 title, and he even managed to go on to win it, not in 2012, but the year after as well. So Mathieu van der Poel has a bit of making up to do if he's going to be able to get closer to the likes of Fabian Cancellara. But Van der Poel for the win, that could very much be on the cards. But anyways, with that, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel here on the Cycling Day and Extra, and let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win, and maybe we can get it right together. But of course, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.